Morning everybody, I'm Meg from LovenStamps and this is Maker Mornings with Meg, Tuesday edition, so I hope you had a great weekend. I have a project to share with you today that features the Season of Chic stamp set. So this is one of the ones that is continuing to the new book, so you don't have to panic that it's going to disappear. And it's coordinating dies, which I've used so much. They're all like gathered at the bottom of the package here. But the paper for this is retiring, so it's only available through May 1st or while supplies last, so you're going to want to get that. And I'm going to show you today what to do when you have this left over from your paper because you've used everything else that you love so much and you have these little scraps left. We are going to make a 4-square sampler card, kind of like a quilting sampler. I'm not a quilter, but I do love combining color and texture, fabric, paper, whatever. And I know sometimes people ask like, oh, are you wearing that? Did you pick that shirt for today's project? And I didn't. This is coincidence, but this is, here, I'll show you. This is my 4-square shirt too, with like the color blocking pattern. So you can apply this to anything, or you can take inspiration from anything that you see and bring it into your card making. So the project that I'm going to show you today is actually inspired by one I did a number of years ago. I didn't look up the, I didn't look it up, but I'll try in the blog post to refer it. This project has actually been sitting here for years in my studio here, and it is a really neat way to mix and match images, especially for a stamp set where you have lots of great mix and match pieces. So here is the example. This one I made as a frame, so I'll link the video tutorial in the blog post too, so you can learn how to do this. And like I said, this frame, which is chipboard and the backing paper from the designer series paper, like this designer series paper here, sneak peek. This is just that backing paper. It's really lightweight, and this has been sitting on my shelf for 5 years at least, I think. So it's pretty sturdy frame, but here is that sampler. So lots of neat ways to mix and match all the pieces and layer the squares and so forth. So we're going to start with this sort of as our inspiration, and we are going to build a sampler featuring the colors and textures from Texture Chic. So good morning, everyone. Hey, Patricia and Sue, thank you. Aline and Trish and everybody who's there, make sure you guys say good morning. And I'm gonna switch our camera down and get started here with our stamping. So, all right, like I said, we're gonna start with this 4-square sampler project. This is one of the 4 projects featured in the LovenStamps Monthly Tutorials for April. A number of you guys already have those. Thank you for your orders this month. If you haven't ordered yet, you can still get them. The tutorials then come as a PDF that you can print and download. They have pictures and so forth in them. So kind of a bonus if you like printed tutorials. These little pieces here are 1.5 inches each square, which I find is a great size, whether you're doing this project here or like the 9-square frame. This is a 6x6 here. It's just a nice size for mixing and matching pieces. Plus, it gives you a really outstanding opportunity to use all of these little scraps. Like this tiny little scrap, this would be perfect. These little scraps here, all of these little pieces are things that you'll want to hang on to. So sorry if you are trying to come up with a reason to get rid of your extra pieces. I'm not gonna help you with that. So, hey Terry, hey Margie, and hey Kelly. So we have our pieces here. Let's go ahead and look at this. I have a piece of soft suede cardstock that I'm gonna fold in half. And for our 4 squares, I'm gonna lay these out, and what I like to do is kind of mix and match the colors and the texture. So I might put my peach here, which is actually petal pink. I might put those kitty corner from each other, and maybe this green one up here in the corner there. Notice how the Texture Chic paper has those really pretty gold foiled accents, so it has that nice shine to it. It's okay to use the back side of the papers too. You don't always have to use the foiled side. Now, this is a very nice start here, but I really like to encourage focal point in our cards, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a piece of soft suede cardstock and I'm going to actually put these on here. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna draw our attention in here to the center of our card. okay? So see how that extra layer just really helps to make it a more finished, more focused project. But I want to kind of connect the texture here with our plain cardstock, because right now there's a lot of contrast between this very busy paper and this very plain background. So to do that, I'm gonna grab my soft suede, and we're gonna stamp some soft suede on soft suede, which is a great thing to do with this season of chic. So there are these sort of smudgy stamps, I think I called them when I wrote up the tutorial. And I'm gonna add some smudgy stamps here in the background of our card. I'm gonna kind of give it like a little bit of motion as it's moving across here, sort of top left to bottom right. So I'm gonna turn my stamp and add those across there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and place these back and kind of look and see if I got enough. I think I might want, well, most of this is gonna get covered up, so I guess I'm not gonna worry about it. But I like how there's some showing here between these gaps. Okay, so let's go now and get a greeting for our card. And I'm missing my cardstock for my greeting. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick a color from this. I'm gonna use Mint Macaron, which is one of our going away colors. And I somehow have already pulled my cardstock, so check this out. I have to pull out a whole sheet of Mint Macaron cardstock just to get this little scrap that we're gonna need. So painful, but actually not terrible. So, okay, so I'm gonna bring in my paper trimmer. And you know what? I'm gonna do this, if I wasn't using a scrap, I'm gonna use this the way I would do with a whole sheet of paper here. I'm gonna stamp first and then trim, because then I know that my piece is about the right size and I've got it where I want it. And I'm gonna use this greeting here, which says, "You make each season of life even more beautiful," which is a really fun sentiment to share with each someone special. And I'm gonna stamp it in Evening Evergreen, since that's really our strong color here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put my trimmer in. And I'm going to go ahead and line up here so that I can see where we're gonna cut and get that greeting just exactly where I want it. And you could just use scissors, or you can use your trimmer since you're already on here to trim that extra piece. And so that is going to go here on our card. All right, so we're going to go ahead and this is gonna get layered here eventually. Move on with our layering. I have this tiny little scrap here of the Evening Evergreen, which is going to repeat this color that we used for our greeting. And let me zoom in a little more. I feel like you guys are really far away. There you go. So I'm gonna bring this in and layer it here on our petal pink and add this here. So now we have the 4 different colors here. When you are picking colors for a project like this, you wanna make sure you pick things that combine and mix and match pretty well. And I love working with designer series paper for that kind of inspiration, because if the colors didn't go together, the Stampin' Up artist would not have put it together in the paper. Morning, Carol. All right, so moving along next, what are we gonna put on our project here for our 4 square pieces? We have lots of choices here with our leaves and snowflakes and all the things, and each season. So we kind of want to have a bunch of seasons represented. I have my package here of the retiring gold. This is called Specialty Gold and Rose Gold metallic specialty paper. It is beautifully textured, it's retiring and nicely discounted. So use the link in the supply, or use the link in the video description to get some. But I'm gonna go ahead and die cut one of the snowflakes from our die set. And I've got that here through the magic of television. If I can pick it up. There you go. So here's our little snowflake. We'll maybe pop this one on here. And then I also have the little shell here from the same die set, this one here, which I have also cut out through the magic of television. So let's maybe pop this one kind of down here. And then I have 2 more images to work in. I have this flower and I have the leaf. So let's go ahead and do our leaf stamping. So I have my soft suede cardstock here, and I have my 2-step stamp images. I really like for this one to go ahead and stamp my background first, okay? And I'm gonna stamp it twice, and then we can decide which ones we wanna use, because this second one is stamped off, and so it's a little bit lighter on the background. And so when I'm stamping over it, it may have a little bit better contrast between the two layers, and I might decide we like this one. So let's go here. Soft suede is also a retiring color. I will miss it a lot. It was really one of my go-tos. And here you can see the difference here. The stamped off version is a lot more differential between those two stamped layers. This matches the die here from our die set. I love, I just leave the washi tape on these sometimes. So we're going to drop this die down here and pop this in my die cut machine. And of course, through the magic of television, I have this leaf here ready to go. So this one is also going to be added to our project. Maybe we'll pop this one up here. And our flower. Now I could do my flower on the basic white cardstock again, but I feel like it would be a little bit too stark. And I want this one here to have nice contrast. I'm gonna stick it right here between this sort of white background paper and our flower. So instead, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this piece of petal pink cardstock, and we're gonna go ahead and stamp in petal pink on petal pink. So let me go ahead and ink this up. And for lining up a flower like this, I always like to look and see this way, maybe. See how there's a straight edge to the petals right here? So that's gonna make it much easier for me to figure out where my flowers align. I'm gonna go ahead and keep that straight edge on the top of my stamping both times. So I'm gonna stamp it once there, and I'm gonna stamp it again. We're gonna do our same leaf trick to see which version we like better. And again, with my straight edge towards the top, I'm gonna stamp that over. That's a little bit hard to differentiate there, those two. And so now I'm gonna do it again. There we go, that's a little bit better. So you can see that difference between stamping off. And this matches a die from the die set also. So here is my flower die, and I have the tape for myself right on that straight edge part there. No, I don't. The tape goes down at the bottom. Anyway, I have the tape on here too, so I'm just gonna line this up, and through the magic of television, I have that flower ready to go also. All right. So our flower, I think we're gonna pop kind of down here, and I feel like that flat edge kind of goes towards the bottom. Okay, so we've got our pieces kind of loosely arranged here, which is really my favorite way to work on a collage, or pretty much any card, something like this, where I get my pieces kind of set up, and then I go back and add the adhesive and stick it all down. So I'm gonna start assembling my pieces from the sort of decorations here, and then we're gonna talk about how the framing is gonna work. So. All right, we've got that piece there. I'm gonna set this aside to come back to it. I'm gonna use my multi-purpose liquid glue, AKA green lid glue, and put that here on my snowflake. I don't have to glue the whole thing. If I've glued it, a couple little spots, that's gonna be good enough. Remember, if you can see it, it is enough. You do not need a lot of this glue. It is fantastic stuff. And then sometimes I like to just put a block over to make sure that's gonna have the time it needs to grab and stick. I'm gonna put my dimensional here for my flower so that I can sort of position that there. Got like a loose placement here. And then I think we're gonna wait and put our snowflake on, our seashell on after. So now this is where I was talking about. I want to space my pieces here. And I'm spacing them so that I have about the same margin, move that out of the way, at the edges of my border as well as between my spaces. And so, let's see, we get that pretty well arranged. And then I'm gonna come back and peel them off. I'm gonna hold them in place while I pick one up, one at a time, and add a dimensional to the back, and then pop this on. Now, the nice thing about having one dimensional on the back is that they're pretty easy to move. If I feel like I need to, I can twist that off. Remember, when you're peeling layers apart, you always want to twist as much as possible to unstick layers as opposed to peeling, because when you twist, you shear the adhesive layer between them. When you pull back, so if I was gonna peel it like this, then you're bending the cardstock fibers, and sometimes you can damage your paper and end up with a oh, it looks like that's been peeled off at some point kind of moment. So, all right, We'll see how we go here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. All right, so we've got our 4 layers there, and now I'm gonna bring in our greeting. And I know that we're gonna end up, I'm gonna put some glue here and some glue here, and then I'm gonna slide this here under our flower. I really want our greeting to not line up at the side here, but I don't want to have that word be obscured. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my scissors here and just trim off just a little bit of my greeting so that it's offset there from the edge of my cardstock, just to give it a little bit more layers. So we talk a lot about not lining things up. So if I line this edge up here with the edge of my paper, it tends to create like a stronger statement, a stronger point that attracts your eye. And so the eye stops and it moves, and it's like stops right here because those layers are lined up. And that's not what I want, right? I want to have more motion. I want you to be able to see the focal point, which is right over here. Season of life, beautiful. They're set aside by text, font, and so forth. And I know that I just said not lining things up, but we do have this line up here of these 4. And so this is pretty well balanced here with our square to really give us the effect we want. Okay, that's where we want everyone's attention to be. All right, now I'm gonna take my seashell here. If you can see it, it is enough. That means I've got enough glue on there. And I'm going to overlap my flower here. So I'm gonna set that there. All right, now this layer is gonna go on our card front. We're gonna do that in a second after we've given our glue to dry. We'll embellish it too. Don't worry, there's embellishments coming. But I'm gonna bring in another piece of basic white cardstock here because we wanna continue our collage on the inside of our card. We don't wanna just leave it plain, especially after we've done so much here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my flower stamp, and I am going to, I need a piece of scrap paper. Why is there never any scrap paper when you need it? Goodness gracious. Okay, I'll use this as my scrap paper. I'm gonna stamp off here on my scrap paper, and then I'm gonna stamp here in my project. And I'm gonna do the same. This is my envelope. I love to decorate usually the bottom left corner here of my envelope, sort of my go-to. And I think I got that flat part of my flower up there at the top. So I'm gonna do the same again. There we go. All right. What else can we add to this though? There is a little greeting in here that says, love you. This is a great greeting set. Not only do you have all the seasons represented, so you could make a card that is just seashells, or a card that's just floral, a card that's just fall, just winter, or you can mix and match them like we're doing today and then use a greeting to match or to go along with it. So I love this little tiny love you. And let's see, I don't have a block handy, so I'm going to use this one here that I have mounted. Do you guys ever mount stamps on the front and back because you don't feel like getting up to go grab another block? Maybe it's just me. So I'm going to stamp a little love you here on the side. So that's going to be on the inside of our card. And then I feel like it needs something to kind of carry seasons over. So I have another die cut here from this fabulous collection here. So it's this die right here that's the leaf shape. There's a whole bunch, 4 leaves in this die set. And I'm going to go ahead and pop out the extra pieces. And let's go ahead and add this to our card inside here. Maybe we'll just kind of prop it up there on the side. And again, now you can probably see my glue a little bit easier. If you can see the glue, it is enough. You don't have to have a ton on there for it to stick really well. And you really actually don't want the glue to like splurge out from the edges because it stays pretty sticky even when it's dried. So, all right, so we've got our envelope, we've got our interior, we have our layer here, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop this up on dimensionals one more time. You'll notice I'm getting pretty close to the edging on this particular batch of dimensionals. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to swipe the corners. Sometime over the weekend, we were talking about Swiper from Dora. I don't know if that is part of your era of kid television or not, but around here we watched a lot of Dora. Swiper, no swiping. But I'm gonna swipe the edges of these, so. Let's see. Elaine says, oh yes, she uses both sides of the block Yes, and Carol, and yeah. I mean, there's two sides of the block. You might as well, right? And hi, Jackie. I'm glad you could join us. Okay, so I've got our last, I guess I didn't split that. There we go, our last little bit here. And I love using the corners or the edge pieces of dimensionals to pop up larger pieces like this. Of course, you could just put extra dimensionals in the sides or whatnot. But I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over. And now this gives us a really nice and subtle color on color shadow line around our card that really helps to focus that in. But you know what is desperately missing from this? Bling. I know there's gold in the background in our foiled paper and stuff, but I think that we need to add some gold sequins. These are the gold faceted adhesive backed sequins that are in the going away list. So they're nicely discounted at the moment. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab, I think I'll pop one here. And I want to return our focus just a little bit. We've got a lot going on in this card, so I want to keep our focus around our greeting here, which is, really the main theme of this project. So I'm going to put our 3 sequins kind of in this area. And you'll notice that I didn't, these are pretty close to lined up actually, but they're not all lined up on any single horizontal or vertical plane, again, to kind of not draw your eye and keep it too much, but mostly to help you kind of keep moving around your eye as you're looking at the project. So I like to talk a lot about, the why of why I think things work well, or where I place things. So hopefully you guys find that helpful. All right, let's see. Okay, so now I'm just going to pop this inside. I put a little bit of multi-purpose, liquid glue in here, and I'm going to pop this layer in our card, just like that, all right? So now we have our envelope. We have our very beautiful Season of Chic card. This is a really fun, this would be a really fun birthday card for somebody, or, kind of lots of different occasions. So you make each season of life more beautiful. And I can see like writing something in there, and it's been so much fun to be your friend over the years. So lots of possibilities for greetings with us. So if you missed the other cards that I shared with this set of stamps and dies, each month I like to curate a set of supplies, so colors, stamps, accessories, and so forth. So you've seen a bunch of those things here as I've kind of gathered them to make for these projects, and make 4 projects. And so here is our final one for this month. This is the one I shared last time, this card with these fun brushstroke splashes on it with lots of opportunity there to use those. I have our notebook project, which is one of the ones that you'll get a kit for in the mail if your order with me is at least $50 this month. So this is a notebook here with a ribbon closure like that. So a really great project that can adapt to lots of situations. And one more project, which I cannot find the card for. This one keeps like disappearing from my surface. I couldn't find it last week either, I think. Well, anyway, here's the pieces for it. So if you're getting a kit, it's going to look a lot like this. You'll need to provide your own stamps and ink for these kits. So this piece is die cut here for you, this seashell, but you'll want to have your own stamps and ink if you want to make the project exactly as I showed them. And if you want to make it a little bit different, of course, that's totally fine too. You're welcome to do that. So we're getting close to the end of the month and close to the end of this catalog. So this is February 1st is the last day for February. Where did that come from? It's because it's cold today here. May 1st is the last day for this book, by this moment of this book, as well as the purple book, which seems to be missing from my drawer. And then May 2nd starts the new book. So I've mailed these to my to people who are getting them from me. If you haven't gotten a shipping notification and you're like, Meg, I thought I was going to get a catalog from you, make sure you reach out, send me an email or message or something like that, and we'll figure out where your catalog might be. But if you order at least $50 from me in the last 6 months, then you will, your catalog is on its way already. If you haven't and you would still like to get a copy of the new catalog, you need a demonstrator, I'm happy to help you. Send me a message or visit my website, LovenStamps.com, and click under Shop Catalogs, and you can request a catalog. So I would be happy to get one out to you too. All right, guys, I think that is it for our Tuesday edition of Maker Mornings with Meg, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed this project. So yay, Terry, I'm glad you like it. Trish and Elaine says it's super helpful to talk about focal points. I know. I have some fun time this summer with one of my friends who's an art teacher. She's an elementary school art teacher. And I look forward to talking art with her when we get to hang out. So maybe I'll have some new lessons to share with you after that. In any case, I hope your Tuesday is great. And I will be back on Thursday morning with another Maker Mornings with Meg episode. It will be, our last one for this current catalog. So be sure you're looking at the last chance products list and checking out the things that are available with great discounts as an opportunity to add things to your stamping supplies that you know you're going to love to use. So, all right, happy stamping, everyone, and have a great day.